Merry Christmas!
Welcome to the second annual Retrospectors Quiz of the Year. Arion and Rebecca look like they're having fun. Let's see how long that lasts. Arion, you very kindly bought us champagne for the occasion.
It's not champagne, it's Prospero. But it is the Gran Selezione. It's some sort of Prosecco. I'll have you know that it was up the expensive end. There were only two ends with one product at each end. So this is the slightly more expensive
end of the screw top Bianco Brut wine.
Individual. Yep, that's what I got you guys.
I mean, if you're listening, you'll hear probably nothing.
The
if you're watching the video, you'll get to see us unscrew the caps of this prestigious blend.
But still, we didn't think to supply alcohol for this occasion, so I appreciate it, Arion.
We've
You're very welcome.
Not a leg to stand on.
So, yes, that's it for proper episodes for this year. But we now present our annual opportunity to determine for the year whether Arion or Rebecca have the best memory retention for marginal facts. Last year, Rebecca, you reigned supreme.
Yeah, it's like I barely even remember that I won, Like, it means so little to me. I'm not into it or anything.
Well, failing to remember things has been a key component of my year. I actually got my excuses ready because having had a child in January, I was pretty sure that I wasn't taking things in and recording terribly well. And it turns out that memory retention is significantly poorer when you are sleep deprived. In fact, 40% poorer. And so I think
that it is in itself a good fact, which is ironic, but also I think he's cobbling together a defense before he's even lost.
Well, this doesn't surprise me at all. I thought you were going to say it turns out that my house had a carbon monoxide leak.
Well, it's not just a defense, but it's also a bit of an entreaty. I think I should get a sort of 40% head start on the points tally. Producer Matt, if you wouldn't mind just...
I don't, and I wrote this quiz. And note, I wrote this quiz so that I don't have to participate in a quiz that exposes my lack of knowledge. Before we get going, though, a few parish notices, Rebecca.
Yes, if you've enjoyed the show this year, which we hope you have, please do leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts because it really helps people find the show. If you want even more of us, you can follow us at Retrospectors HQ on Twitter, facebook.com/The Retrospectors, and at The Retrospectors on Instagram. We're also on TikTok. I can't remember the handle, but just type it in.
And I have one. If you left your headlights on, please.
Could the owner of an Audi registration
please make themselves known. No, I was going to say, if you have any suggestions of something that you'd love to hear us cover, do just drop us a line. We're at theretrospectors@gmail.com. So just send us an email and we'll
probably
consider
do it.
Yeah, we'll probably do it. We don't have that many ideas left.
We've got a whole year to fill for 2023.
We do.
Meanwhile, 2022 has been a hell of a year. We had our biggest ever celeb cut through when Richard Bacon himself tweeted our episode about the day he got fired from Blue Peter.
Yeah.
Previously, the best celebrity engagement we had was with Peter Heimlich, son of Dr. Henry Heimlich of Maneuver fame. So that was pretty good.
Well, not to forget our encounter with Heidi Fleiss, Hollywood's madam, whose services we didn't even pay for to give us a bit of promo in the form of the episode about Heidi Fleiss.
If you've been the subject of a Retrospectors episode and you haven't told us, please tell us because it's always titillating when we find out.
This has also been the year that I was able to indulge in a bit of self-discovery as well in the form of my mum digging up the photos of me and her at Blobbyland. The photos taken by my dad, who didn't feature in them. But it was really nice I haven't seen them since, I actually feel like I haven't seen them at all. But yes.
I feel like anyone who has pictures of themselves at Blobbyland has a kind of post-traumatic response to that in time and covers up the memory.
Do you know what? It's like, it took me a while to put two and two together. The fact that I was like, yeah, Blobby is really unsettling and I was taken to Blobbyland when I was 3.
Like when we put Blobby on the list, I think we always knew that we were going to cover Blobby, but I don't think that we knew that it was going to be the kind of lasting thing, at least for me. And I feel as though the admittedly small amount of Blobby blowback that I got from having judged him semi-harshly, I should add.
You're not judging him, you're judging all English culture, aren't you?
I am,
come here with your suave Antipodean approach to history.
Australia renowned for their taste and class.
It's not generally, they're not words that go together. But I was trying to cover that. I was trying to make it all about Blobby, and it turns out you all saw straight through it.
It's also, of course, been the year that we went 6 days a week. introducing our ad-free Sunday episodes for Club Retrospectors members. Hello, Club Retrospectors members, if you're listening to this on your ad-free feed.
Woo, hi.
You're our favourites.
Special hello from us.
How did it feel to hear this without an advert? Pretty great, I reckon. Patreon.com/retrospectors if you would like to join. Right, so time for the quiz. Have you been revising?
No, but I feel pretty confident now I've heard about this whole memory retention situation.
So as last year, you will be able to buzz in when you know the answer using a sleigh bell noise, which producer Matt assures me will jingle in two different distinctly identifiable ways.
Right.
So here is Arion's jingle bell. Let's hear it, Arion.
Matt.
And here's Rebecca's. Yeah, I can
well
hear
done,
who's who. You will get a point for every correct answer about what's happened on the show this year, but you will lose a point for every incorrect answer. So you can't just keep chipping in. Right. Let's play the Retrospectors Quiz of the Year. Question 1. As discussed in our episode Harry Potter Goes to Hollywood, which comic actor originally put himself forward to play Hagrid? Arion.
Robin Williams.
Correct. A lot of alcohol and 5 minutes doodling is the creative process that led to the creation of which beloved TV character? Arion. It was Mr. Blobby, yes. Michael Lego's description, as revealed in our episode Meet Mr. Blobby. In what state did Ozzy Osbourne orally behead a bat? And I'm looking for the state in America, not the state of his mental health. You must jingle in. Rebecca.
Ohio.
I'm afraid it wasn't. Arion, would you like to steal this?
New York.
Oh, it was Des Moines, Iowa.
Oh, the
as
other one.
discussed in our episode Ozzy Festival, the other boring
The other
Iowa
one.
state.
Yeah.
You'll forfeit my malevolence forever. You are the very pineapple of politeness, and she's as headstrong as an allegory on the banks of the Nile. Are quotations from which 1775 play?
The
Rebecca?
Rivals.
It was The Rivals by Richard Sheridan, as discussed in our episode Rebooting the Rivals.
Back to 0.
In our episode Hershey and the Chocolate Theme Park, Rebecca decrees that Milton Hershey's middle name was, quote, the ultimate capitalist name. But what was that middle name? Arion.
Money Coots.
No, Milton Watt Hershey. Rebecca.
It's like Snidely or
Oh,
something.
you're so close. His name was Milton Snavely Hershey.
Oh!
That's good.
As depicted by Scrooge McDuck in the animated version in our heads. Which of the following songs were not turn-of-the-century hits for risque comedian Eva Tanguay? Go As Far As You Like, Kid, I Want Someone to Go Wild With Me, and I Need a Little Sugar in My Bowl.
I need a little sugar in my bowl.
Correct, Rebecca. Yes, that was, in fact, a song by the New Orleans jazz singer Bessie Smith from 1931. Perhaps a subject for a future episode.
I bet you actually know that song, don't you?
I
Like,
knew that
really
the first
intimate in
two
all the
were
lyrics.
Eva Tanguay. That's how much I retained from that one.
We do actually need to do a Bessie Smith episode one
Yes,
day.
yes.
Lyrics for that. I need a little hot dog on my roll. I need a little steam heat on my floor. Woof. In 1937, Mrs. J. Stanley Beard was the first person in Britain to do what? Arion.
Try a hamburger.
It's a good guess.
Oh, I know
Rebecca.
this. Call 999.
Correct. Call 999 as
Phew.
discussed in our episode
It was-
In Case of Emergency, call 999.
But her husband got the credit, and I'm hoping to get a little bit of credit out of that as well.
Okay, this is getting mad now. For a bonus point, if you can remember what her husband did for a living, I'll give you a point, Arion. Yes.
Architect.
He was an architect from
What
Hampstead.
the
Well,
Since when did we get extra points?
he's putting the
Since I
Bolshevik
went-
confidence in.
Since I
What can I say?
started going behind.
I hate census means a lot to Arion.
In 1948, Nancy McGee became the first person to be declared what? Rebecca.
Miss Chicken of tomorrow. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
She was the inaugural Miss Chicken of Tomorrow, as discussed in our episode, The Chicken of Tomorrow. As revealed in our episode, Jar Jar and the Beverly Hills Cop, how much did Jar Jar Gabor's trial set back the Californian public? Closest guest wins. Arion.
$1 million
$1 million what?
US dollars.
Yes, good. Yeah, that felt like that was harder to get out of him than it should have been. Rebecca.
$500,000 US.
You are the closest. It was $30,000.
Oh, it's not a lot then.
No. Oh well, you know, but
A
I
bargain.
was taking inflation into account.
8 people died in 1814 when what exploded,
Beer flood.
Arion? It was
Porter.
Well, yes, but what
Big barrel.
exploded? Yes,
the sort of the catch, the metallic
yeah.
thing holding the whole wooden apparatus together.
I mean, the answer I have is a fermentation tank of brown porter
That's
ale.
right.
You said most of those words,
Yeah.
just
Most of
individually.
I will accept
Okay.
for a point, as discussed in our episode, the exploding tank of beer. For a bonus point, Rebecca, you were angry about the bonus point.
Yeah, I was, but
Wait,
I could
get
not.
it right.
I could not be, depending on how this goes.
How many barrels worth of ale drowned the good people of Tottenham Court Road that day?
10,000.
Okay, do you want to take a guess, Arion? How many barrels?
It was the equivalent of 1 million pints, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
So,
how many barrels of brown porter ale?
10,001. I'm just going on
I
one
don't
side
like this
of it.
one bit.
See how that?
You get the point, Rebecca. It was 3,500.
Oh, 9,900
barrels of ale. At which point, let's break to find out the scores. Where are we up to, producer Matt?
Rebecca has 6. Arion, 1.
Oh,
You had
that
to.
doesn't seem right.
well, you did take a look. Remember, you lose a point for every incorrect
I
guess.
know, I just really
Been a
like
bit shooting from the hip.
We like guessing.
shaking these things.
Doesn't matter. Let's pretend that it's even Stevens.
Good.
I
like that.
Let's keep.
But with an awareness that it's not.
Yeah.
I'm carrying none of that.
And we move on to the second half of the quiz. As explained in our episode, The Best a Man Can Get, how does one strop a blade? Imaginations are running wild.
I mean,
How do you strop a blade, Arion?
against a leathery chunk of leather.
Yes, I'll take that. Yes, you run it up and down a big leather strap. Yes. Major's Cabin Grill in New York City offered charcoal-broiled specialities and fine food in a friendly atmosphere. But what happened there on the 8th of February 1950?
The invention of the
Arion.
credit card.
Yes, he's getting back in the game. Incredible. It was the site of the first ever credit card transaction, sort of. The Diners Club charge card was first used there, as discussed in our episode, Inventing the Credit Card. Come on, Rebecca.
What? Why
Yeah, I
come
feel like
on,
you're letting
Rebecca?
down
She's
your
still
fans.
well and truly ahead.
I just wanted to get a bit more dramatic for the listener at home, you know?
Right, got it. For which iconic TV show was the pilot episode called Ned's Bicycle, Arion?
Oh, damn it. I buzzed in before I got there.
We've only done about 4 episodes about pilots.
It
Guess
wasn't
one.
the Thunderbirds. It was Teletubbies.
It was Teletubbies, yes, transmitted on the 31st of March of 1997. As discussed in our episode Meet the Teletubbies, still one of our more popular episodes on YouTube. Apologies to all parents who found us through that because they were desperately searching something to shut their kids up. As discussed in our episode Meet the Thunderbirds, the 5 Tracy brothers, Scott, Virgil, Alan, Gordon and John, were named after what? Arion.
Astronauts on the Apollo something or other.
Oh, it's so close.
Can I get an extra point for
Saturn.
saying
The
that?
Saturn mission. Saturn 5.
Mercury 7.
Oh,
Mercury.
-2,
I think,
guess.
no. He can't lose a point for that. That was close.
Oh, wait, astronauts. You didn't actually specify that we had to
Yeah,
go
you
into
did.
any more
You
detail.
volunteered that.
Yeah, no,
That's
but
true. That's true. You make it. I'm giving you a point. It's convincing.
No, that wasn't what I meant. Oh.
For a bonus point,
Yes.
can you name one of the 2 astronauts from Mercury 7 who didn't have a Tracy brother named after him?
He was
Rebecca.
called Wally.
He was Wally Schirra. You could have equally had Deke Slayton. Why would you not name a puppet after that man? What surprisingly early year in history witnessed the birth of Nintendo, Kodak, and the jukebox? Arion. Closest guess wins.
I know it.
1889.
It was
Son of a
1889. As revealed in our episode Welcome to Harvard, what was the only admission requirement to get into the university when it was founded in 1636? Arion.
To be able to speak Latin, you didn't need to be able to, to be, sufficiently conversant with Latin, but you didn't need any capacity with
And
Greek.
Greek.
No, you didn't. You learnt that as you went along.
I'm afraid you
She
had
gets
to
a minus
speak
point.
Latin is the answer, and you have lost a point, Rebecca. This
Wait,
is,
I didn't.
this is
No.
all
Surely
falling away.
the first person to buzz in
My
loses the
decision
point if
is
they get it
final.
wrong.
My decision is
I don't
final.
like this one bit.
The Wedding March by Felix Mendelssohn was first used down the aisle at whose wedding? Rebecca.
Princess Victoria.
Correct. Princess Victoria and Frederick of Prussia, as discussed in our episode Soundtracking the Royal Wedding. Which event in 1982 was described by Variety magazine as a true smasheroo, but by Time magazine as a bad dream? As a clue, it featured the most tedious TV sequence of all time in which a woman incredibly slowly lights 100 candles on a cake whilst historical
yes.
facts are read out.
It was the night of the 1,000 stars, whatever it's called.
Oh,
so close.
The Night of 100 Stars.
Yes, you've stolen it, Arion. It was the night of 100 stars, as described in our episode, the night of 206 stars, because that's how many there actually were in attendance. And here's the final question. I mean, I've lost track of who's winning now, so this could go either way. This could be the
I
decider.
might not buzz in necessarily.
As discussed in our episode McMoscow, which English actor was an unlikely witness to the opening of Russia's first McDonald's in 1990?
oh.
I can
It
see
was,
him. What's his name?
I can see him.
Rebecca.
Jason Statham.
It was Jason Statham.
That was even my fun fact about
It was
that
your fun
episode.
fact.
It's probably the most unusual thing that I managed to get into the whole year, and I can't even remember it.
Jason Statham was at the opening of Russia's first McDonald's with Britain's national diving team. And with that, Matt, what are the final scores?
Rebecca has 7. Arion, 8.
Incredible!
I just don't know what to say about that. It feels like you actually gave it to me, is what I actually
be
think.
No, I
dignified.
didn't like being like like when you minused a point. For,
Yeah.
But I wasn't the first one to. Anyway,
Oh, producer Matt has produced a dinky cup.
this is very nice.
It's
Did we
funny-
have one last year?
No, it's funny because of the size difference as well. Arion's the tallest man I know.
Is this one that we have to hand over year
Yeah.
to year, as in I will hand it over next year
When you
and
give
never
it to
get
me,
it back?
it'll be normal sized in my hands. Just
You
like
can
a normal
engrave it
trophy.
with your initial.
Believe me, it's gonna be one giant A by the time I'm done with it.
So, Arion, you win a trip to Blobbyland. Rebecca, commiserations, you win a trip to Blobbyland. That's it for this year. We will be back with all new episodes from January the 3rd. But if you want more from us, there are over 70 bonus bits you can unlock right now if you join Club Retrospectors and support the show financially. You also get bonus Sunday episodes. They are like our normal episodes, right? They
Yeah,
are as
but
good. They're better than this.
better.
They're as good as our normal episodes. And we'll see you next year. Happy Christmas!
Happy Christmas!
And so ends another curious moment from history. Subscribe now to hear more from Arion, Rebecca, and Olly, the Retrospectors.